Hi, my name is Lidiia Iakovleva, and I'm going to be competing at the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games.
Well, welcome, Lidiia. It's very exciting to have you as part of our special Olympic series, which we started, which was 20 years since the Olympics last year. But now that Tokyo got moved to 2021, we're interviewing you on your way to the Tokyo Olympics, which is very exciting. Now, tell us a little bit about your RG journey. So how and when did you start? What were your thoughts on RG when you first began?
So I was born in Russia, and as you know, in Russia, rhythmic gymnastics is just extremely popular. It's one of the most popular sports for girls. So everyone in my kindergarten class was doing rhythmic gymnastics. So my mom thought that I should give it a go. So I gave it a go and I liked it. And I think I just won competition in Russia, and then we moved to Australia. And in Australia, we started looking for a rhythmic gymnastics club. So to keep me entertained at home because I was still young. And
how old were you when you started?
So I think I started at the age of 5, but and then I did it for a few years in Russia, and then I moved to Australia when I was 7. At the beginning of my junior year in 2015, we decided to go to a camp to Russia, just to try it out, see how it works, and it worked out pretty well because the next year I ended up coming first to the Pacific Rim Trials, which was a really big surprise. Then came the senior year, and for me, that movement from junior to senior, first year senior, was not the best.
Yeah.
And I had a really good year. Then once I got selected for the World Championships, I sort of got that motivation back, and I understood that this is World Championships. It's like I've never been here before, and yeah, so that was really good.
And was that 2019?
2019, yeah.
2019, yeah. So the year of the Worlds before the Olympic Games.
Yeah. And so after that, obviously COVID came, and for me that was really good. Like, I'm so thankful that it happened, because if it wasn't for COVID, I definitely wouldn't be here. Because during COVID,
you got some like extra training time just to leave, I suppose, because you are very young, and there were more experienced athletes, I suppose, or older athletes ahead of you, but that little buffer, which probably for most people was really challenging, for you it kind of opened a door that may not have been there before. So can you talk a little bit about that?
So obviously at the beginning, just when COVID hit, it was like, and everyone's like, oh, state's cancelled, national's cancelled. It was a bit disappointing, because still there was a lot of work put into that season. But I sort of, and at the beginning of the season, it wasn't that great for me either. And I sort of understood that my Olympic dream is getting further and further away. So after all the upset and the disappointments about COVID, I started to just work on the little bits that I just don't have time to work at the gym. So like just basic stuff like feet, and like started doing Pilates and just stretching more and taking master classes.
Yeah. A lot of the other Olympians, and I think you touched on it a little bit before, all sort of said that they didn't start out from the beginning as winning everything, and that their results came later in their career. Do you think that sort of happened for you as well?
Yeah, I think so. Well, like I said, the levels wasn't really like, it was more for fun. And I think for my juniors, it was a pretty good 3 years, but then sort of the 2 years after that, I sort of fell a little bit back. And it took me a while to get back on my feet and like understand like what senior international is, and it's actually very different from junior. So yeah, I think that like some gymnasts do just progress instantly, but some just need time to adjust to everything.
When did you start your dream of going to the Olympic Games, and has that always been a goal that you've had?
From the beginning of 2018, my only goal was to get into the Olympics. And once I went there, and it was just an amazing experience. It was just so fun, and it was just so exciting. It was really good. And then I only started to realize that it is possible at the beginning of 2021. So through those competitions, and I started to understand where I was standing, like between my competitors and all.
Yeah.
And going into the Continental Championships, actually the week of, I decided I'm going to quit gym.
Oh,
Because
really?
yes,
Wow.
it was really, I think it was just really stressful for
Yeah,
both,
the pressure was that, yeah, the
yeah,
feeling
my
that you
mom
felt.
and myself. And yeah, it was just, yeah, so I quit gym in the evening and I came back the next day to
Yep.
start it
Just
again.
for the night? You just quit for
Yeah,
the night?
just for the night.
Yep.
Thought of it because I understood that like it's just only like a few days away. It's like it's just, you just can't stop now. And yeah, so we came back, and the day of the podium, it was really good for me, and I went through it pretty well. And then I honestly, I never thought that I would make it. Like I never had this thing, or I just want to go be at Olympic Games. Like I always just wanted to perform my best and just to perform clean routines, and then whatever will happen will happen.
Yep.
But yeah, so I never really had that like clear understanding that it was possible. It was always sort of at the back of my mind.
You mentioned a bit about your mum, and I think that's a really interesting dynamic. I don't know if everybody knows that your mum is your coach. I cannot imagine my mum training me whatsoever. So how does that work when your coach is your mum?
Yeah, so I think some people think that, oh, it's so good, like you can tell her everything and like we work well together because she's your relative, but it's actually like not the case. I think it was fine at the beginning, but then it was because like you're constantly like with your mom, like you
Yeah.
you wake up with her, you go to training with her, you come back home with her, and just imagine your mom telling you what to do for like the whole day.
No,
And
I cannot imagine. Like
yeah,
I
so but
just can't.
obviously without her I wouldn't be where I am. Like I wouldn't be able to train with anyone else because I know that she is the best for me and she understands me the best, and she knows how much she needs to push me and how far I can go, or how, yeah, just like she understands me. And yeah, just try to separate. So at training she's my coach, at home she's my mom.
Do you think as an athlete or as a competitor, do you have, what are you known for? Or what are your assets, do you think, as a rhythmic gymnast?
Like I like doing pivots, and I think when I'm in the right place and like I feel in center, I think my pivots are my best skill that I can do.
Yeah. And have you worked, when did you decide that that was something you're good at? Could you always just naturally pivot, or was that something that you worked on for a little bit and then all of a sudden you started to see improvement and you're like, oh, I'm going to make that my thing?
I think from the beginning I just had really good like balance, like eternal balance, and I could find like, yeah, like my balance and pivots. And just over the years we just worked on my the strong skill which I'm good at, because I think it's important to improve your weaknesses, but it's also too important to just stick to what you can do and improve that as well.
For gymnasts lacking a little bit of motivation, how do you think they can stay motivated through this period?
I
Yeah.
think it's just good to make some like a daily list of like a few things that you can do during the day. And then obviously this is a time where you can't do routines, you can't do lots of things that we gymnasts need to do, and you can just work on little things like very simple, like just like feet, um, strength, just stretching. Yeah, you can get creative with exercises, and now we have a huge platform online and people post so many things, so many exercises that you can do. It's just so good. So like hop online, find something, maybe some masteries that you can learn, and just, yeah. And also the new code of rules came out, so it's really good to maybe like have a look at that and understand what you can do for next year.
And for those of us watching who have Olympic aspirations, what advice would you give them?
Anything is possible.
Mm-hmm.
Literally anything, as long as you put your mind to it. It's just crazy. Like I never thought I would make it here, and you just have to believe in your abilities and believe that if you just keep working, even if you fail, failing is fine. Like everyone fails, it's just part of nature. If you have to keep going, like, and try again and try again and try again, because eventually you will get there. Like, literally anything is possible.
Yeah, definitely. And what is your goal for this Olympics, and what are you sort of hoping to achieve?
I think my goal is just to enjoy the competition, and because I think for me, like, I'm not in there to like get top three or like into the finals. I think for me the hardest part is already like over. Obviously I want to do well, like 4 clean routines will be really good, but
Yeah.
no matter what happens, I think it will just still be an amazing experience.
Well, we were very excited and so looking forward to seeing you hit the floor, and you will do Aussie proud no matter what you do, and everyone will be cheering behind you. So just enjoy it every single minute that you're there, laugh it all up, and take it all in, and don't let the moment pass you by because it goes so fast.
Yeah,
Uh, and it'll be the best thing you ever do in your life. I can guarantee you that. So good luck. We're wishing you all the best, Lidiia. And
thank you.
maybe we'll hear a little bit more about it on the flip side when you finish and how your experience was.
Definitely, thank you so much.